Out of New York, New York, first baseman, leading hits.
Hello, folks, and thanks for joining us here at Colburn Park. I'm Dan Cooter here on NewarkPilots.tv, and it's the Elmira Pioneers who come to town on a Western Division matchup with the Newark Pilots. It's the left-hander from Levittown, Pennsylvania, Matt Walczak, who will start on the mound for the Pilots today. And Newark trying to snap out of a two-game skid in which they saw Jamestown Jammers put up 13 runs and then 20 runs on them, and a 13-4 loss here on Friday, and then a 20-3 loss last night at Jamestown. And for the Pioneers, they're coming off a big 10-5 win over the Red Wings yesterday as they try to work themselves back into the Western Division race, as the Jamestown Jammers are starting to run away with things as they have mopped up this West Division in the first half of the year. We turn the calendar as it's July 1st, and we're ready for first pitch. It's Joey Myers, the third baseman from Mission Viejo, California, who leads things off. And a swing and a miss from him to get things going. Walczak able to toss in another strike, so he's quickly got Myers in an 0-2 hole here, as he's the leadoff man today for the Pioneers. Myers swings at this one and fouls it back, and so the count will remain at 0-2. 33 runs in the past two games the Pilots have given up after a 6-1 win over Mohawk Valley. It seemed like the pitching was starting to come around for the Pilots, but a step backwards for them in the last two games, and they'll try to change things here today. It's a hot mess out in the field. It's a steamy one. It was 106, they said it was. Here's one hit hard to right. Walter looking back at it, off the wall. Myers is at second, and he will hold up, and it's a leadoff double for Joey Myers to start things off here in the top of the first. Joey Myers, who was in an 0-2 count there, was able to drive one into right, and Jake Walter, the right fielder, looking back at it, and it looked like it had a chance to get out of here, but it barely stays inside the wall. And he has himself a stand-up double to lead off things here in the top of the first for the Pioneers. It's Luke Stevenson who will come to the plate now, and he takes a swing at the first pitch and misses. Stevenson from Algonac, Michigan, is set to play his college baseball at Xavier this upcoming year. Takes a swing at this one as well and fouls it back. And so Walczak ahead on the count once again, but it didn't pay dividends in the first at-bat as Joey Myers was able to go opposite field. So an early chance for the Pioneers here as they have a man in scoring position and an 0-2 count here to Stevenson. Off-speeder hit well to left. Chasing after it is Robinson, and it's going to fall into the gap. Myers will easily come home to score. Stevenson is chugging for three. Warren with it to throw into third, and he's got him. Some poor base running there by Luke Stevenson, but he's able to bring a run home to score, and so the Pioneers take a 1-0 lead as Stevenson picks up an RBI. And it's back-to-back hits for Elmira to start things off here. It's Liam Hibbets who comes to the plate now as he looks at strike one from Walczak. As Walczak will try to string it in here after giving up back-to-back hits. This is a tough hopper for right, and he's going to have to scoop it over to Walczak on a good play to retire the second out here in the top of the first.
Now batting out of Hopkinton, Massachusetts, number 22, the catcher, Craig Corliss.
It's the catcher, Craig Corliss, who will come to the plate now. Corliss from Hopkinton, Massachusetts, just finished up his freshman year at Siena, where he started 12 games. This one finds the lower half of the plate, and so Walczak gets himself ahead in the count as there's two gone here in the top of the first. Luke Stevenson picks up his 5th RBI as a Pioneer, and it puts Elmira up 1-0 here. This one hit into foul territory, Wright chasing after it. Graham is there as well, but Justin Graham, the second baseman, can't make the play, and so it falls foul. And the count goes to 1-2 on the catcher, Corliss. Last time we saw the Pioneers here at Colburn Park, it was a doubleheader in which the Pioneers were able to win the first game 10-5, and a Parker Sadlock walk-off in the second game helped the Pilots prevail 5-4. Pioneers own the season series as they swept the doubleheader at Dunn Field earlier in the year. Walczak misses with this one high, and so the count goes to 2-2 on Corliss. 2-2 swung on right to Walczak, and it's going to skip up the middle and be a base hit. And so Corliss is aboard with 2 gone as that one right underneath the legs of Walczak. And a good at-bat for Craig Corliss to get himself on base here. And it'll bring Colin Davis to the plate. Davis, a big night for him in the 10-5 Red Wings win. Davis had 5 RBIs and was 2 for 4 on the night, as he was named Player of the Night in the Perfect Game League. Colin Davis, who was named to the all-freshman team in his freshman year at Wofford from Roswell, Georgia. After the big night for him, batting .250 on the year now for the Pioneers as he fouls this one back. It pushes the count even at 1-1. Early on here in a hot one at Colburn Park as it's a 1-0 Pioneers lead. With 2 gone here in the top of the first, Corliss is over on first after the 2-out base hit. And it's the center fielder for the Pioneers today, Colin Davis at the plate. He fouls another one off the top of the bat, and so he's behind in the count 1-2. It's Myers, Stevenson, Hibbets, Corliss, and Davis, who you've seen. Perrin, Johnson, Rollman, Smith is the lineup for the Pioneers here today. Walczak ready to go with the 1-2. Swung on and fouled right off that top of the bat again by Davis, and so he stays alive. We've already seen a couple of the Pioneers batters do this. Then they getting behind in the count, but able to make something work, as it was Corliss who we just saw get behind in the count, come back and get himself a base hit. So another 1-2 here to Davis. Swung on right to the shortstop, Warren. Oh, tough play, and it skips by him. And so Davis is aboard with 2 gone. As that one will not be charged as an error, as Davis will pick up the hit on a tough play for Xavier Warren over there at shortstop. And so there's runners on first and second as the designated hitter Perrin comes to the plate. Perrin from Quebec plays at Veneer. Swings on this one, grounded up to the second baseman Graham. A tough play over to first. Does he tag him? No, he does not. And a runner will come home to score, as the ball seemed to get out of the glove of Grady Wright over there at first. And so the Pioneers have 2 here in the top of the first now, and a 2-0 lead.
Number 15, right fielder, Tanner Johnson.
No RBI for Perrin, as it's a charged error over there at first. The first of the game for the Pilots. And the Pioneers have a 2-0 lead. We saw last night the Jammers come out swinging the bats early and often in that one, as they were able to get 4 in the bottom frame of the first when the Pilots were at Jamestown last night. Here's the 1-0, as it's Tanner Johnson, the Crestwood, Kentucky native, who will come to the plate now. And it's a 2-0 count with runners at the corners here for the Pioneers, as they're threatening for more, as there's 2 gone in the top of the first. So it swung on hard to right. Walters tracking it, and he's able to make the catch So Walczak gets himself out of the inning as the Pioneers strand 2, but add 2. As we go to the bottom of the first, it's the Pioneers 2 and the Pilots nothing here at Colburn Park. We welcome you back to Colburn Park. I'm Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV as we get you set for the bottom half of the first as the Pilots will come to the plate for the first time. And it was the Pioneers who had 4 hits in the top of the first and were able to get 2 runs to come home to score. And so they lead 2-0. It's the right-hander Angus Mayock who will start on the mound for the Pioneers today. And for the Pilots, it'll be Justin Graham who will lead things off, followed by Bailey Murphy-Serfolio, Walter Babin Robinson right, and in the bottom of the order is Xavier Warren.
Now batting out of St. Mary, Pennsylvania, number 12, second baseman, Justin Graham.
Now, to my knowledge, I thought Justin Graham was from St. Mary's, Pennsylvania, but he's not. He's actually from Webster, New York, and he's the second baseman for the Pilots today, and he leads things off for Newark. Here in the bottom half of the first, he replaced Jared DeSantolo in the top of the 8th last night, and he lost to Jamestown and had a single. He looks at strike 1 from Angus Mayock to start things off here in the bottom half of the first. Mayock 1-3 on the year with a 6.26 ERA, making his 5th start for the Pioneers. Has pitched 18 2/3 innings to this point in the year. It's a 1-1 count here to Graham. And it falls in there for strike 2. And so Mayock ahead on the count 1-2. See there with Angus Mayock, kind of a delayed delivery with that kick. As he throws in the 1-2 high and away. As Graham is able to lay off, and so the count goes to 2-2. For Justin Graham, it's been a struggle for him of late. He's batting .204 on the year. This one chopped up. It's going to be a tough play. The first baseman able to make the toss. No, and he drops the ball as Mayock, and so Graham is aboard to start things off here in the bottom half of the first.
Number 11, center fielder, Dawson Bailey.
Mason Rollman, the second baseman. A tough play for him, as that ball just seemed to lose its momentum after it came off the bat of Justin Graham, and it's charged as an error, as Angus Mayock could not hold on to the ball over at first as he was covering. And so the leadoff man is aboard here for the Pilots in the bottom half of the first. It's Dawson Bailey, who draws into the lineup today for the Pilots, and batting in the second spot. He takes a crack at the first pitch he sees from Mayock and fouls it right into the dirt in front of him. And so it's a 1 strike now to Bailey. For Dawson Bailey, it was a strong start to the year for him. He's batting .310. But we haven't seen him as much in the lineup of late, as he came on in replacement last night in the loss to Jamestown and was 0 for 1. Before that appearance last night, you have to go back to June 22nd for his last appearance in the 17-4 loss to Geneva. He's hitless in his last 5, or his last 4, correction. He had 3 hits in the 6-4 loss to Jamestown back on June 11th. So he looks to get out of that rut, as it's a 2-1 count to him with Graham over at first. This one swung on and fouled back by Bailey, and so the count goes to 2-2. Bailey has 13 hits on the year as he plays at Niagara University from Porter, New York. 4 RBIs and has struck out 13 times. With that foul ball, Mayock gets the count to 2-2 as he looks to retire the first out of the inning here in the bottom of the first. 2-2 off speeder, can't paint the outside corner, and so it runs the count full. It's Bailey out there in center field today for the Pilots. That one misses high, and so it's a walk awarded to Dawson Bailey, and there's 2 men on here with none gone in the bottom of the first, and it's the hard-swinging Alan Murphy who comes to the plate as the Pilots find themselves down 2-0 after a 4-hit, 2-run top of the first for the Pioneers. So after the payoff pitch misses high, Dawson Bailey is walked, and there's runners on first and second for the Pilots. This one swung on by Murphy, chopped up in a foul play. Trying to make a play on it is the third baseman Myers, but it just falls foul. So it's strike 1 to Alan Murphy. Murphy, who is hitting .358 on the year, leads the team in RBIs with 17. We saw him in the 13-4 loss. Strong outing for him. So he left the game. Only have given up 2 runs, as he ended up giving up 4 hits in the 13-4 loss. He pitched 5 and 1/3 innings, excuse me. A 1-1 count after Mayock misses with this one outside. In a strong 3 RBI game in the Mohawk Valley win. That included that triple that turned into a run scored after the error. As Mayock misses again, it's a 2-1 count here to Alan Murphy. As we're early on in this one at Colburn Park in the bottom half of the first, a 2-0 lead for the Pioneers. But the Pilots threatening here with none gone. Mayock into the windup with the 2-1. This one swung on and hit high in the air right to the third baseman Myers. He's under it to make the play, and out number 1 is recorded as Alan Murphy flies out.
Third baseman, Matt Zerfolio.
And so the third baseman, Matt Zerfolio, will come to the plate as he will have his chance to try and bring Graham around from second and get the Pilots on the board here. For Matt Zerfolio, he's hitting upwards of 300 at .316. Has 12 hits and 38 at-bats for the Pilots. Seen him in the designated hitter spot as well, but he's at third base here tonight. He was 0 for 2 last night. He was walked once and was able to come home and score once as well. It was Stephen Edgett who had all 3 RBIs last night in the 20-3 loss. It's an 0-1 count here to Serfolio. Serfolio from Indian Springs, Alabama, plays at Columbia. Has 6 RBIs on the year for the Pilots. Holds off on the 0-1, but it catches the outside part of the plate. And so an 0-2 hole here for the third baseman, Serfolio. Mayock looking to record the second out of the inning as the Pilots have runners on first and second. A long peek to Graham, and now a swing and a miss from Serfolio. It looked like he was chopping wood on that one, as he was completely fooled by Mayock. So a big strikeout for Angus Mayock, his first of the afternoon. And it brings Jake Walter to the plate with 2 gone now. Those runners still on first and second. Jake Walter looks at the breaking ball that falls in for a strike. Ianski is behind home plate. Connor McKenzie is in the field today. The 2 regulars here at Colburn Park, along with Gary Benton, who we often see. Big swing and a miss here from Walter. So he's quickly behind 0-2. This would be a big out for Angus Mayock. After the error allowed Graham to get aboard, and then the walk awarded to Dawson Bailey put him on first. As he tries to strand the 2 runners. So it's an 0-2 count here to Walter. The throw over to second, but it's a fake as Mayock held on to that one. It's Justin Graham with 5 stolen bases on the year. It's a threat over there at second. But we'll do it all over again here with the 0-2 to Walter. Walter's swing and a miss in the dirt. The throw down to first from Corliss, and that'll do it. So the Pilots strand 2 here in the bottom half of the first, and the Pioneers keep their 2-0 lead as we head to the top of the second here at Colburn Park. Top of the second here at Colburn Park as we welcome you back in. A 2-0 lead for the Pioneers. It's Mason Rollman taking a crack at the first pitch he sees. Griffin Robinson trying to track it, and it's going to find its way all the way to the wall. Rollman is into second, and he will stop there. And so it's a leadoff double for Mason Rollman. He makes quick work of Walczak. to kick things off here in the top of the second. We saw Joey Myers do the exact same thing when he led off the game, as he was able to get on for a double. And that's Mason Rollman, who smacks one into left, and it sends Griffin Robinson chasing to the wall. So already the 5th hit of the game for the Pioneers here in the top of the second. Off-speeder hit deep to center here by Blaine Smith. Underneath it is Bailey. Rollman looked like he wanted to tag, but he will hold up. And so one pitch takes care of Blaine Smith. As the Pioneers are already turning over the order here. It's Joey Myers, as we just mentioned, had that double and came across to score his first time up. Joey Myers, he takes a crack at the first pitch. It's right back to Bailey again. We'll see if Rollman takes off now. This time he will. Here's the relay into Warren. The throw, and it won't happen. So Mason Rollman, after his first try, he decided not to go. He changes his mind this time and goes for it, and he's easily in there. And so the fly out advances the runner into third, but there's 2 gone now. So Walczak hasn't had to toss in many pitches, as all 3 batters he's faced have taken a crack at the first pitch they've seen. Luke Stevenson will as well, but he doesn't connect, as he misses on this one and falls behind in the count 0-1. Stevenson is 1 for 1 on the afternoon already. He had an RBI, but was thrown out trying to get down to third when Myers came across to score. The breaking ball can't catch the bottom half of the plate, so the count goes to 1-1. Mason Rollman over at third. 1-1 with 2 gone here in the top of the second. It's the Pioneers leading the Pilots 2-0 early on. Pioneers have already tacked on 5 hits and 1 error apiece for both sides. There's the 2-1. Swung on high in the air by Stevenson. Graham is underneath it, and he will make the play. So the Pioneers strand one as Walczak gets out of the inning. We remain Pioneers 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second here at Colburn Park. It's a 2-0 Pioneers lead as we head to the bottom half of the second here at Colburn Park. It's the catcher, Ty Babin, who will lead things off, as it is a hot and scorching day here. Even with the air conditioning on up in the booth, we're still sweating pretty good. That's the right-hander, Angus Mayock, who will continue on the mound, and he gets Babin to go around on a fastball for strike one. Mayock from Berwyn, Pennsylvania, stands at 6'5", 215 on the mound. This one chopped up to the shortstop on the one hopper. The throw over to first, and the leadoff man is retired as Blaine Smith, the shortstop from Oak Grove, Alabama, who plays at Samford, a highly touted infielder who can play a variety of the positions in the infield. Shows off his slick moves down at short. He's able to get the one hopper over to first in plenty of time, and so Ty Babin is retired, and it brings out the left fielder, Griffin Robinson from Shawnee, Kansas. Robinson was 1 for 3 with an RBI last night as he holds off at a breaking ball in the dirt for ball one. Pilots looking for their first hit of the afternoon here. The Pioneers have already gotten 5 and have a 2-0 lead in this one. Mayock gets this breaking ball to catch the lower half of the plate. So it's a 1-1 count to Robinson, who plays at St. Louis. This one high and inside. Robinson lays off all the way, so the count goes to 2-1. Griffin Robinson hitting .286 on the with the Pilots as he makes his 9th appearance of the year. Has 6 hits in 21 at-bats. And had a 4-game hit streak before it was snapped in the 13-4 loss to Jamestown. But got back on track last night as he had a double. And has himself a hitter's count at 3-1 here from Mayock. He swings at this one and chops it down the third baseline, but foul. So it pushes the count full here as there's one gone in the bottom of the second. There's the payoff pitch for Mayock now. This one swung on off the top of the bat and foul into the backstop. So we'll do it all over again as the count remains full at 3-2. Mayock pitched 4 innings in his last start in a 10-1 loss to Jamestown. Allowed 8 hits and 6 earned runs. Struck out 3 in the game. His last win came back on June 19th. A 6-5 win over Oneonta, where he went 6 2/3. Only gave up 1 earned run on 7 hits. Another payoff here to Robinson. Chopped down to Myers at third. He's able to corral this one and swing it over to first for the second out.
Now batting out of Fayetteville, Tennessee, number 17, first baseman, Grady Wright.
Grady Wright, the first baseman from Fayetteville, Tennessee, strides in for the Pilots as there's 2 gone. Mayock looking for a 1-2-3 inning here in the bottom of the second. Angus Mayock, who was a freshman at UConn this past year, making his 5th appearance and 5th start of the year for the Pioneers. It's a quick 0-2 count here to Grady Wright. Grady Wright came on in relief last night and was 0 for 1 with a strikeout. His team leading 21st strikeout of the year. The 0-2 here from Mayock. Wright gets caught looking at one on the outside corner, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Angus Mayock here in the bottom of the second. Pioneers still lead 2-0. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Angus Mayock in the bottom of the second. Sends us to the third as Liam Hibbets leads things off for the Pioneers as his team leads 2-0 here at Colburn Park. 5 hits for the Pioneers, none for the Pilots yet, and an error apiece. Walczak starts Hibbets off with a fastball low, so it's ball 1. The VCU product from New York, New York. Batted .243 in his freshman year. He started 28 games for the Rams. Had 28 hits and 13 RBIs and came across to score 13 times for VCU. It's a 1-1 count after Hibbets fouls one down the first baseline. Walczak was able to get himself out of a little bit of a jam there as Hibbets drills one into right. And it's going to fall for a base hit, and now it escapes Walter. And it's going to be extra bases for Hibbets. And for the third straight inning, it's a leadoff double for the Pioneers.
Now batting out of Hopkinton, Massachusetts, number 22, the catcher, Craig Corliss.
That's a tough play if you're Walczak on the mound, as it looked like it was going to be a single, and it skips under the glove of Walter and turns into a double. It's a 6th hit already in the afternoon for the Pioneers. Backstop. So it's an 0-1 count to Corliss, who is 1 for 1 at a 2-out knock to center for a base hit in his first at-bat. Corliss hit .136 in his freshman year with Siena. He started 12 games and had 1 RBI and 6 hits. 0-1 swung on to right, and it's going to fall for a base hit. Walter, the throw in right to home, and it's not going to happen. Corliss picks himself up an RBI as Hibbets slides into home. And a 3-0 lead for the Pioneers now. The leadoff doubles. Killers for Matt Walczak right now. As Liam Hibbets comes across to score, and the Pioneers take a 3-0 lead. Went high in the air by Colin Davis, right back onto the mound, but right will come in, and he drops it. And the throw over to second gets Corliss out. But it'll be an error charged to Grady Wright, as that one escaped his glove. And so Davis gets himself on first, but with Corliss waiting over there at first, it's an easy throw for Walczak down to second base. And so there's 1 gone and 1 man on for the Pioneers. Perrin comes back to the plate. He is 0 for 1, and he sends this one foul on the first pitch. So 3-0 Pioneers lead here at Colburn Park. Fighting the conditions here today. Temperatures upwards of 96 degrees. Is that a beer? It's a 1-1 count here to Perrin now. Perrin holds off on one low. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike to the DH today for the Pioneers, who's hitting .270 and has 10 hits and 37 at-bats with Elmira. Runner's going. This is fouled off by Perrin. And the count's at 2-2 as Colin Davis has to retreat to first after the foul ball. It's a 2-2 count here as Davis over at first with 1 gone here in the top of the third. Pioneers have tacked on another run to take a 3-0 lead. Perrin lays off a one high in the zone, so the count runs full. Perrin's with 5 RBIs on the year. Has struck out a team leading 16 times, though. Walczak into the windup with the payoff. Swung on and fouled off the top of the bat by Perrin, so the count will remain full. So 2-run first for the Pioneers. Allow them to jump out to a 2-0 lead. They've added another one here in the third to take a 3-0 lead. So they have 7 hits already in this one. Another 3-2 offering here from Walczak. Off speeder, fouled off once again by Perrin as he stays alive. Last time we saw Matt Walczak was when he closed out the game against Mohawk Valley in the 6-1 win. It was a quick 1-2-3 inning of works for him. Primarily a starter. It was his second relief appearance of the year for the Pilots. As they get him in a rundown, Davis down to second, the tag, and he is out. So a good pickoff play there by Matt Walczak. And just like that, there's 2 gone as the count remains full to Perrin. A quick peek over to first, and Colin Davis wasn't there anymore. And Matt Walczak gets him out at second. So now the payoff here to Perrin once again. Laid off as it's high, and it's a 2-out walk. Tough play for Walczak, as he would have loved to get out of the inning there with a strikeout after the throw down to second. So with the walk, it's the first of the day for Walczak, and it brings Tanner Johnson back to the plate. Johnson 0 for 1 on the afternoon. So he takes a crack at this one, chopped down to the shortstop Warren. Hard throw over to first, gets the out. So the Pioneers add 1 more on, and they lead 3-0 here at Colburn Park.
Warren!
It's the 9-1-2 hitters for the Pilots as we welcome you back to Colburn Park. Here in the bottom of the third, Pilots find themselves down 3-0 as they're being out hit 7-0 so far. As it's Angus Mayock, the right-hander, back on the mound for his 3rd inning of work. Xavier Warren takes a swing at this one and fouls it off. So he sees the first pitch of the afternoon from Mayock. Warren was 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts as he struggled at the plate last night in Jamestown. He wasn't the only one who struggled, though. It was a 20-3 loss. Most runs the Pilots have given up this year. as the 0-1 misses up high from Mayock. Xavier Warren hitting .242 on the year. So he's seen the most plate appearances at 69 this year for Newark. Looks at one on the outside corner, so he falls behind in the count 1-2. He's hitless in his last 3, as you have to go back to June 22nd in the game against Geneva for his last hit, in which he was 1 for 2 in the 17-4 loss. Mayock doesn't like the signal, and so he backs off. It's a 1-2 count here to the leadoff man, Xavier Warren, in the bottom of the 3rd. There's the 1-2 now from Mayock. It's an off-speed pitch that doesn't come around, and so the count runs even at 2-2. Warren with 8 RBIs on the year. He's been walked 16 times. Has struck out 14. The 2-2 misses outside again from Mayock, and so it runs the count full. Those 16 walks is a team leading category for Xavier Warren. Justin Graham's second on the team with 11. This one swung down to Blaine Smith, a little one-hopper. Throw was a little high, but caught, and the leadoff man is retired. Little gift there for Blaine Smith, as that one caught the grass and right into the glove. An easy throw over to first for the Samford shortstop. So the leadoff man is retired here in the bottom half of the 3rd as the Pilots turn the order over for the 2nd time, as it's Justin Graham. He was able to reach on an error his first time up, but the Pilots stranded 2 in that inning. So the score remains at 3-0. Mayock misses with the leadoff pitch outside. So it's ball 1 to Graham. Mayock misses with another one outside, so it's ball 2. We mentioned Justin Graham had that single to get himself out of a slump last night in the loss to Jamestown. He was hitless in his last 3 before getting the hit last night. He was 2 for 4 back in the 7-1 win over Geneva on the 18th of June. So he looks to try and return to form. It's a 3-0 count here. So misses low, so it's a 4-ball walk. And Graham is aboard with 1 gone here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Center fielder, Dawson Bailey.
Dawson Bailey was walked his first time up, and he comes back to the plate. Dawson Bailey, the Niagara University product, comes back to the plate, as him and Graham were aboard back in the 1st when they were stranded. The Pilots are still hitless in this one. Already 3 errors charged to their name. They trail 3-0. Bailey holds off on this one low. Mayock has tossed in 6 straight balls, and he'll get a visit from his catcher, Craig Corliss. It is sticky and it is hot here today. Roger told me it was 106 on the field before first pitch. You think he was making that up?
No, it's 160 that's 95.
Bingo. That's hot. That is hot. 1-0 falls in for a strike, and so the count is at 1-1 at Dawson Bailey. Angus Mayock, he had walked 11 batters coming into this game. It's a big swing and a miss from Bailey. Gets Mayock ahead in the count 1-2. He's dished out 2 walks today. One of those was to Bailey, but he's got Bailey in a 1-2 count. Looking for the second out here in the bottom of the third. Breaking ball swung on and missed by Bailey. So it's the 4th K of the afternoon for Mayock, and there's 2 retired as Alan Murphy comes back to the plate.
Alan Murphy.
Graham still over on first after the 1-out walk. Alan Murphy 0 for 1 on the afternoon as he comes back to the plate. Inski calls strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. It's an 0-1 count to Murphy. Murphy takes a crack at this one, and so he fouls it off and is quickly behind 0-2. Got to imagine conditions like these don't make it easy on anyone. The umpires getting plenty of water during each half inning. The 0-2 is into Murphy. It's low. Murphy's able to hold off of it, and so the count goes to 1-2. His teammate at St. John Fisher College, Justin Graham, is still over at first. The Pilots have stranded 2 so far here today. A 1-2 count to Murphy as Mayock is ready to deliver. It's in the dirt. Corliss can't control it, but Graham was not heading over to second, so he stays put. There's a little bit of a wild pitch there from Angus Mayock. Didn't make it to the plate. But the catcher, Craig Corliss, does a good job to get his body in front of it. And I can't even imagine how hot Corliss is with his gear on. It's the 2-2 now to Murphy. Swung on, hit deep into right. It's going to head right into the gap. Back to retrieve it is Davis. Graham is rounding third. Murphy's into second. There won't be a throw home. And Alan Murphy has his 18th RBI of the year, and the Pilots are on the board.
Now batting out of Indian Springs, Alabama. Number 3, third baseman, Matt Serfolio.
Alan Murphy just seems like every time he has runners and not even in scoring position, just runners on, he's knocking them in, and Graham comes around to score easily from all the way at first. Alan Murphy, who was 1 for 4 last night, has another hit here in this one, and it's a 3-1 ball game as there's 2 gone in the bottom of the third. Serfolio chops one right to second, the easy play over to first, and so the Pioneers get on the board as it's 3-1 as we head to the top of the 4th. Pilots get one back in the bottom half of the third and cut into the Pioneers' lead as Elmira leads 3-1 heading to the top of the fourth. It's Mason Rollman who will lead things off, and Matt Walczak back on the mound for his fourth inning of work. Rollman 1 for 1 on the day as he led off with a double. Pioneers have done that 3 times, and Rollman knocks one into right, has himself a base hit. So the leadoff man is aboard for the 4th straight inning here. That's the key to success. If you're the Pioneers, it's a great way to get runs in. And it brings Blaine Smith to the plate. Smith 0 for 1 on the day. We'll see what they do here. Blaine Smith might lay down a bunt. Try to get Rollman over to second. Smith will go around on this one as he misses for strike 1. It's the 8th hit of the afternoon for the Pioneers. And moves Rollman to 2-2 on the afternoon. Rollman from Fairhaven, Michigan, plays at Riverland Community College in the Junior Collegiate League.
Everything's working.
Rollman was batting a mere 111 coming into tonight. A strong 2-hit game already for him. Smith, does he hold up on that one? Yes, he does. So it's a 1-2 count to Blaine Smith, as you mentioned, from Oak Grove, Alabama. Made 14 appearances, started 14 games with Samford as he goes around and misses on this one. So it's a strikeout for Walczak, and there's one retired now.
Number 9, third baseman, Joey Myers.
Pioneers will make their 3rd time through the order as it's Joey Myers coming back to the plate. He is 1 for 2 at a double his first time up. Walczak gets strike 1 to fall. Rollman's still over there at first as there's one gone. Joey Myers from Mission Viejo, California, plays at UC Davis. Batted .328 in his freshman year. Had 40 hits and 10 RBIs and 32 games started. The 0-1 fouled back by Myers, and so he's behind 0-2 in the count. Joey Myers was 2 for 5 in the 10-5 win over the Red Wings last night. Pioneers at 8-15 on the year. Pilots sitting at 6-14 as this one skipped down to the third baseline. Serfolio snags this one in the play over to first, a good one. As there's 2 gone, Rollman advances to second.
Number 29, left fielder, Luke Stevenson.
So Rollman moves into scoring position, but a good play by Matt Serfolio over at third. As there's 2 gone, it brings Luke Stevenson back to the plate for the 3rd time. He's 1 for 2 and has an RBI. A 3-1 lead here for the Pioneers in the top of the 4th. A 5 o'clock starting time here at Colburn Park. Stevenson takes a chop at the first pitch he sees. Down the third baseline, but foul. Pioneers out hitting the Pilots 8-1, but they only find themselves up 3-1 in this ball game. Walczak the peek over to second. Now the 0-1 misses low. Stevenson, as we mentioned, set to play at Xavier this upcoming year from Ogonek, Michigan. He was 0 for 1 as he struck out once last night. As he hits this one high in the air, it's going to be a tough play. It's a blooper to second, the diving play by Justin Graham, and he has it. It's a nice play by the second baseman to record the final out of the inning. Still a 3-1 Pioneers lead as the Pilots come back up to bat in the bottom of the fourth.
Now going to the bottom of the fourth.
Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV as we welcome you back into Colburn Park. It's a 3-1 Pioneers lead as we pick it up here in the bottom of the fourth. It's Jake Walter who will lead things off, and he was 2 for 2 last night. He takes a swing at this one right down to the third baseman, and just like that, he is retired to lead things off.
Now batting, Jackson, New Jersey.
I want to hit right to Joey Myers down at third.
Ty Babbitt.
It's a bang-bang play right into the glove. Brings Ty Babbitt back to the plate. As Babbitt is 0 for 1. Angus Mayock, the right-hander from Berwyn, Pennsylvania, has given up 1 earned run on 1 hit. Babbitt, the catcher today for the Pilots. Swings on this one, hitting to opposite field. He's got himself a base hit. And now Stevenson bobbles it, and Babbitt's going to try to turn 2. Here's the throw in to Roman, the tag in time. No. Good base running by Ty Babbitt as he noticed the small bobble from Stevenson. And Ty Babbitt is able to get himself a 1-out double. Griffin Robinson, 0 for 1, come on bounce back to the plate. So Babbitt gets himself in a scoring position with 1 gone here in the bottom of the fourth. Mayock gives up his second hit of the afternoon. That's a 1-0 count to Robinson. Breaking ball misses in the dirt. So it's ball 2 to Robinson. Robinson usually plays in right field, is over in left field today. He's batting .286 on the year. He's batted in 3 runs. This one swung on, a blooper into right. That's going to be a tough play, but able to make it as Tanner Johnson, the right fielder, makes his way in. And retires the second out. Grady Wright comes back to the plate. He got caught looking for strike 3 his first time up. one of 4 Ks Angus Mayock has in this one. Two gone here in the bottom of the 4th now. The Pioneers lead the Pilots 3-1. Grady Wright was 1 for 3 in the first game of the doubleheader against Elmira. So he takes a swing and misses at this one for strike 1. We've seen a slew at first baseman this year, including Wright and DeSansolo. We've seen Walter there as well. Grady Wright from Fayetteville, Tennessee, plays at Lincoln Memorial. It's an 0-1 count. Ty Babin is still over at second and 2 gone. The pitch here hit deep into right by Grady Wright. Back to get it is the center fielder, Davis. And that'll do it. So the Pilots strand one and still trail 3-1 as we head to the top of the 5th here at Colburn Park.
New York, New York. Number 35, first baseman, Liam Hibbets.
It's the 3-4-5 hitters for the Pioneers. As we start the top of the 5th, it's a 3-1 lead for Elmira as they're out hitting the Pilots 8-2. Plenty of errors in this one as the Pioneers have recorded 2 and the Pilots, have 3. Matt Walczak tosses in ball 1. And now ball 2 is that one also misses on the inside part of the plate. As it's Liam Hibbets leading things off here in the top of the 5th. Hibbets is 1 for 2, had a double his last time up, and later came around to score. Looks at strike 1 on the inside part of the plate. Walczak working in on the hands of Hibbets on the first 3 pitches. As we mentioned, Hibbets plays at VCU. It's a hard one into center. Dawson Bailey is back to catch that one for out number 1.
Now batting out of Hopkinton, Massachusetts. Number 22, the catcher, Craig Corliss.
Craig Corliss will now come back to the plate, and he is 2 for 2 on the afternoon. So he has a pair of base hits. Walczak gets a breaking ball to fall over the plate for strike 1 to the catcher. This one misses low from Walczak. Moves the count to 1-1. Corliss enjoying a nice .325 average with the Pioneers this summer. So he had a 3-hit game last night in the win over Geneva. He chops this one down to Warren. He's not able to get it. And Corliss is 3 for 3 on the afternoon now. Finds the gap between Serfolio and Warren.
Center fielder, Colin Davis.
It brings the Roswell, Georgia native Colin Davis back to the plate. As we mentioned, the player of the night last night, he had 5 RBIs. Plays at Wofford in his freshman year there. Was named to the all-freshman team as he hit .303 and had 63 hits and 45 RBIs. Had 13 home runs and was able to come around and score 44 times for Wofford. So definitely a successful freshman year for the center fielder tonight for the Pioneers. So Corliss is over at first with 1 gone as Davis sends one into center. Bailey is tracking it, and he's able to make the catch. So with 2 gone, Corliss is kept put over there at first. Walczak seems to have settled down into this game a little bit more after giving up 7 hits in the first 3 innings. Pioneers have 9 now, but Walczak has limited the damage and has only given up 3 runs, and his team trails 3-1 as there's 2 gone now here in the top of the 5th, and William Perrin comes back to the plate. He was walked his last time up. Walczak can't get the fastball to connect, and it's high, and for ball 1. .1-0 in on the hands of Perrin as he holds off. Moves the count to 2-0, and Ty Babin will check in with Matt Walczak to see what he wants to do. So they look for the final out here in the top of the 5th as we play on at Colburn Park. This Western Division matchup. We saw these 2 teams in the doubleheader just last week. They split that after there was a continuation of a game way back at the beginning of the year. The Pioneers jumped out to an 8-0 lead in that one. Ended up winning 10-5. Perrin able to foul this one off. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike to the DH today for the Pioneers. Elmira, a little bit of a struggle this year to put together some streaks as they're at 8-15 on the year. Were able to advance all the way to the semis in the playoffs last year before losing to the Jamestown Jammers. They're trying to get things on track after the 10-5 win over Geneva. It's a 2-2 count to Perrin. So it's swung on and just getting a piece of it to keep the count at 2-2. That one caught the top of the bat of Perrin. Corliss, the catcher, is still down at first for Elmira as Walczak is ready with another 2-2. Swung on, chopped down to the shortstop Warren. The throw over to first, and he gets him for the final out. So the score still remains 3-1 as we head to the bottom half of the 5th. Pilots coming back up. Bottom of the fifth here at Colburn Park. Still a 3-1 lead as the team traded runs back in the third inning, but no scoring since. So the Pioneers keep their 3-1 lead. They're out hitting the Pilots 9-2. It's Xavier Warren who will lead things off against the right-hander Angus Mayock, who continues on the mound for Elmira. Warren 0 for 1 in the afternoon. He looks at strike one from Mayock. Some afternoon baseball here on this hot Sunday in Newark. Pilots trying to get out of the two-game skid where they were dominated by the league-leading Jammers on consecutive nights. It's a 1-1 count to Warren. Mayock misses up high, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike. The shortstop from Southfield, Michigan. Warren, who plays at Central Michigan, hitting .242 for the Pilots this year. Holds off on another one outside, and so he gets himself into a hitter's count at 3-1. Warren, who struck out twice at the plate last night in the loss to Jamestown, in a little bit of a slump. So he's hitless in his last 3. Here's the 3-1. This one fouled off by Warren, so the count runs full. You have to go back to June 21st in the 10-5 loss against Elmira for his last RBI. Went 1 for 4 that evening. As he leads us off here in the bottom half of the fifth, the payoff now from Mayock. It's in the dirt, and it's a leadoff walk. It's a good eye by Warren to lay off of it, and he is aboard.
Now batting out of Western New York, number 12, second baseman, Justin Graham.
See if the Pilots can do anything with this. They haven't been able to get the leadoff man on base many times tonight. But after the walk, it's Xavier Warren over at first and Justin Graham at the plate as the Pilots head to the top of the order, the 3rd time through. Here's the bunt by Graham. It's a hard play for Corliss. He's down to first, and it advances Warren, so Justin Graham does his job. And with 1 gone, Warren moves himself into scoring position.
Now batting out of Porter, New York, number 11, center fielder, Dawson Bailey.
Dawson Bailey struck out his last time up. Strides back in for the Pilots. The shortstop, Xavier Warren, after the leadoff walk, is over at second now. Bailey goes right over to the mound, and now the throw down to third, excuse me. And Warren took off for third base, and Mayock made the smart play.
Alan Murphy.
And so the leadoff walk is squandered, and Dawson Bailey is over at first, but there's 2 gone as Alan Murphy comes back to the plate. Alan Murphy doubled into right his last time up. The RBI to bring Justin Graham around to score. It's the only run the Pilots have in this one as they trail 3-1. Murphy can't hold off on that one as it was a breaking ball in the dirt for Mayock, and so he falls behind in the count 0-1. Pilots very lucky to be hanging around in this one after going down 2-0 in the top of the first. They've been out hit 9-2. But Matt Walczak is settled down on the mound. It's a 1-1 count now to Alan Murphy. It was his his team leading 18th RBI of the year for Newark. The 1-1 now. Swung on by Murphy into opposite field, but tracking it back is Stevenson, and he's able to make the catch. So the Pilots strand another runner and still trail 3-1 as we head to the top of the 6th here at Colburn Park. We welcome you back to Colburn Park as we head to the top of the 6th. Still a 3-1 game. Pioneers lead. As Tanner Johnson takes a swing at the first pitch he sees and grounds it down to the shortstop, Warren. He's able to make the play over to first, and the leadoff man is quickly retired to start things off here in the top of the 6th. And as we've mentioned, Matt Walczak has really simmered things down here after giving up 7 hits in the first 3 innings of work. Mason Rollman is back at the plate, and he has had a strong outing as he is 2 for 2. There's a double and a single. And as we mentioned with him, he was batting 111 coming in, so definitely hasn't had much success at the plate so far this year with the Pioneers, but maybe a bust-out game for him as it's a 1-1 count. As he sees his 3rd time with Matt Walczak. He fouls this one back, and Walczak gets himself ahead in the count 1-2. It's another cold day at the plate for the Pilots so far, as they only have 2 hits through 5 innings and 1 run. Walczak has done a good job to keep him in it. Rollman able to fight this one off to keep the count at 1-2. The Pilots have scored 7 runs in their past 2 games and have given up 33. It's obviously not the key to success. As they look to change their fortunes here, they trail the Pioneers, though, 3-1. Another 1-2 here to Mason Rollman. The off-speeder chopped down to Serfolio at third, and it escapes him. And Rollman takes a peek at second, but heads back to first and has himself a base hit as he is 3 for 3 on the evening.
Number 39, shortstop, Blaine Smith.
Blaine Smith, 0 for 2, struck out his last time up, comes back to the plate. Mason Rollman and Craig Corliss both 3 for 3 today. So they have found some success against the left-hander, Matt Walczak. Blaine Smith, in his freshman year with Samford, had 8 RBIs and batted .238 as he started 14 games. He swings at this one. It could be a double play ball. That's a tough roll, though. Warren's able to handle it, and he gets the out over at first. As Serfolio couldn't get his outstretched glove on it, and Warren had to make the choice to go over to first and get the out. And so with 2 gone, Rollman is over on second as the Pioneers turn the order over. It's Joey Myers, 1 for 3 on the afternoon, back at the plate. Takes a crack at the first pitch here as Myers. See, follows this one back into the stands. So it's strike 1 to him. Myers hit .328 in his freshman year with UC Davis. 10 RBIs and 5 doubles to his name. Takes a swing at this one and hits it into center. It's a blooper, but Dawson Bailey is able to make the catch for out number 3. Game still at 3-1. Pilots will try to get something going when we head to the bottom of the 6th. Matt Serfolio will try to change the Pilots' fortune at the plate as he leads off the bottom of the 6th. Angus Mayock, the right-hander from Berwyn, Pennsylvania, has been stellar on the mound as he's given up 1 earned run on only 2 hits. He's pitched 5 innings of work here so far for the Pioneers. Serfolio 0 for 2 on the evening. Looks at strike 1 at the knees. Pioneers out hitting the Pilots 10-2. 2 errors for Elmira and 3 for Newark. The Pioneers lead this one 3-1. Serfolio swings this one and fouls it off. And so he's quickly behind in the count 0-2. Serfolio, who's from Indian Springs, Alabama, 16 on the year with the Pilots. Had a 4-game hitting streak snapped last night against Jamestown. He swings this one down the third baseline, but just foul. That could have been an extra base hit for the third baseman. but it just squeaks foul. Zayinski was quickly there to make the call. So the count remains at 0-2 to Cerfolio. Cerfolio was able to come around and score last night as he was walked on once, but no hits for him, as we mentioned. And an 0-2 count here. So he leads things off in the bottom of the 6th. Mayock, this one chopped down to Cerfolio. A tough play as it looked like the first baseman Hibbets tripped a little bit, but he's able to lay it on over to Mayock, who was over there covering. And the leadoff man is retired.
Jake Walter.
Jake Walter, 0 for 2, comes back to the plate. Mayock misses with the first pitch outside and low. So it's ball 1 to Walter. Walter with 2 home runs on the year. Came in back-to-back games. And the walk-off win against Elmira, and then the loss to Geneva. That home run in Geneva, just a bullet to right. He takes a swing and misses at this one. Has 6 RBIs on the year, 9 hits and 22 at-bats as he makes his 8th appearance of the year. He's behind in the count as Mayock is ready with the 1-2 delivery. Off-speeder swung on and missed. And there's quickly 2 gone now here in the bottom of the 6th as Mayock has looked strong on the mound and has done it with ease. He's made his way through this Pilots lineup without much trouble. Ty Babin, he's one of the few hitters for the Pilots that has been able to get a hit off of Mayock, as he had a double his last time up and is 1 for 2. Big cut and a miss there from Babin to start things off with 2 gone here in the bottom of the 6th. Pioneers still up 3-1. Haven't seen any runs come across the score since the 3rd inning of this game. Babin swings at this one and fouls it off, and he's quickly behind 0-2. For Mayock, that was his 5th strikeout of the afternoon, as he got Walter swinging at a slider that broke away from the plate. And he has Babin in an 0-2 hole. Babin able to fight this one off foul. Stays alive as the count remains at 0-2. Fairly fast-paced moving game as we play on here in the bottom of the 6th. Pioneers looking for 2 in a row after the 10-5 win against Geneva last night. Pilots trying to end the 2-game slide. Another 0-2 here for Mayock. Goes with an off-speed pitch that misses upstairs as Babin holds off. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes to the catcher from Lyndhurst, New Jersey. That one in there for strike 3 as Babin gets caught looking. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Angus Mayock as we remain a 3-1 ball game. Elmira leads heading to the top of the 7th. We start things off here with a quick out in the top of the 7th as Luke Stevenson lines out to the shortstop, Xavier Warren. And so with one gone, it's Matt Walczak back on for his 7th inning of work. That's the 3-1 Pioneers lead. Liam Hibbets will come back to the plate now as he is 1 for 3 on the evening. Walczak has given up 3 earned runs on 10 hits. As he trails 3-1. Hibbets hits this one into opposite field. Robinson makes his way towards it, and he's able to make the catch, and there's quickly 2 gone.
Now batting out of Hopkinton, Massachusetts, number 22, the catcher, Craig Phillips.
Seen a lot of these Pioneers batters swinging early in the count. It stays true here in this inning as there's quickly 2 gone, and the catcher, Craig Corliss, comes back to the plate, and he is 3 for 3 as he's had a strong day against Matt Walczak. Corliss continues his strong play as he was 3 for 4 last night, and he hits this one right to left, and he's 4 for 4 now. You can tell he's just seeing the pitches well from Matt Walczak. Is once again, another Pioneer goes around on the first pitch they see, and success for Corliss. It's a 4-hit game, 3 singles and a double. The Wofford product, Colin Davis, comes back to the plate in the big 5 RBI game last night. He's 1 for 3. Looks at strike 1 from Walczak as Corliss is on first with the 2-out single to left. That gaping hole between Serfolio and Warren, he took full advantage of it. Here's the 0-1, swung on and fouled off by Davis. And he's quickly behind 0-2. Colin Davis, as we mentioned, hitting .250 on the year, has 11 RBIs with the Pioneers. He's tied for the team lead with Craig Corliss, who also has 11. Strikeout here from Walczak, a big one. And the count remains 3, and the score remains 3-1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th here at Colburn Park.
Number 21, left fielder, Griffin Robinson.
It's turned into a pitcher's duel between Matt Walczak and Angus Mayock. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, it's still 3-1. The Pioneers on top. It was Alan Murphy's RBI double all the way back in the bottom of the 3rd that cut the Pioneers' lead to 3-1. We haven't seen any scoring since. The Pioneers out hitting the Pilots 11-2, but haven't been able to take advantage of the base runners they have put on. It's the 7, 8, 9 hitters with Griffin Robinson leading things off. He is 0 for 2. We'll try to change his fortune against Mayock. A little jawing there when we headed to break. Matt Walczak was fired up on the mound. They're getting the strikeout to end the inning. See if it puts some fire in this Pilots lineup. So 1-0 count to Robinson. Mayock goes back with another off-speeder, and this one in on the hands for strike 1. It's a 1-1 count to the Shawnee, Kansas native Griffin Robinson, who plays at St. Louis. Mayock into the windup with the 1-1. Nice pitch there from Mayock as the fastball catches the outside corner. And he gets ahead in the count 1-2. The 1-2 swung on by Robinson, but gets ahead of this one, and it'll go foul as the left fielder Stevenson made his way over there, but couldn't get there in time. Robinson had a 4-game hit streak snapped in the 13-4 loss against Jamestown, but got back on track with a hit last night in the loss. He had an RBI double. Mayock ready to go with the 1-2 now. Swung on down to the third baseman, Myers. Myers, the routine play, but the throw is high, and Robinson is safe. And so Joey Myers with an error over at third and allows the leadoff man to get aboard, and maybe that's what the Pilots needed, as they only have 2 hits in this one. But it's an error, the 3rd of the game, charged to Elmira, that allows Griffin Robinson to get over on first. Grady Wright, the first baseman, 0 for 2 on the evening. We'll try to advance that runner as the Pilots trail 3-1 here in the bottom of the 7th. Angus Mayock, in case you're just joining us, has been strong on the mound, the right-hander who plays at UConn. Only 2 hits and 1 earned run to this point. The 0-1 to Wright. Swung on and missed, and he's quickly behind 0-2. It'll be Warren, and then the top of the order for the Pilots. Alan Murphy and Ty Babin were the only hits of the game for Newark. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and fouled by Wright as he stays alive. So the Pilots back on that 6-1 Mohawk Valley win. They stranded 13 base runners, but were able to get the 6-1 win. It's been a different story in the last 3 games as base runners have been few and far between as Wright goes down on strikes as he swings and misses at this one for out number 1.
Now batting out of Southfield, Michigan, number 22, shortstop, Xavier Warren.
Xavier Warren was able to reach on a walk his last time up. The heat continues to pour in. As we come around to 7 o'clock here at Newark time. 5:05 start here on this Sunday afternoon at Colburn Park. It's been a tightly contested one here. but it's the Pioneers up 3-1. Mayock, the check down to first. Robinson slides in time. And Warren will see the first pitch now. One can't fall on the outside part. As Warren looks at ball one. The 1-0 here with one gone. Now he gets this one to catch the outside part of the plate. It's amazing to me because it looked like those were two very similar pitches. And for Warren, I would assume that kind of throws his game plan up at the plate. But it's a 1-1 count now, and he's behind now 1-2 after the swing and miss. Pretty crucial point of this game here in the bottom of the seventh. After Robinson was able to reach on a gift from the Pioneers on the error, Newark would love to try and take advantage, but it's a 1-2 count to Warren. Holds off on a breaking ball that is down in the knees. So it moves the count even at 2-2. Xavier Warren, the Southfield, Michigan product, looking for his first hit of the afternoon. Another 2-2. This is outside. The count runs full on Warren here with one gone in the bottom of the seventh. Pilots trying to get a big win here in the Western Division clash between the Pioneers and the Pilots. They're down 3-1. And a full count here to Xavier Warren. And the windup with the payoff is Mayock. A swing and a miss, and he fouls this one off it and right into the glove of Corliss. And there's two gone.
Now batting out of Western New York, number 12, second baseman, Justin Graham.
So the foul tip right into the glove of Craig Corliss. So there's two gone in the top of the order for the Pilots. It's Justin Graham at a sac bunt his last time up. Has come across to score the only run of this game on the RBI double from Alan Murphy. It's going to have to be more than just Alan Murphy. Some of these bats are going to have to come alive here for Newark. 1-0 count for Graham. And does he hold up on the one in the dirt? No, he cannot. Count is even at 1-1 after Justin Graham couldn't keep the bat from going around. Mayock is ready with the 1-1 now. Oh, an off-speeder. Graham goes around on that one. He loses the bat. That one hurt a little bit. So kind of an awkward play there. So with Graham behind in the count 1-2, there's two gone. Griffin Robinson is still planted over at first. He hasn't been able to do much as Mayock has struck out the last two batters. Here's the 1-2. Another breaking ball in the dirt. Corliss is able to keep it in front of him. The count is even again at 2-2. Corliss, the catcher, as we mentioned, 4 for 4 on the evening. He only batted 136 in his freshman year at Siena, but has been batting over 300 with the Pioneers this 2018 season. The payoff from Mayock, swung on and fouled back by Graham. Keeps the count at 2-2. Graham trying to fight his way on a base here. It's been a tough at-bat for him. He's ready with another 2-2 here from Angus Mayock. One swung on and chopped right back to the pitcher, Mayock. He's able to corral this one. The throw down to first, and that'll do it. So the Pilots strand another base runner after the leadoff walk. And the score remains 3-1 as Mayock dominating on the mound for the Pioneers as we head to the top of the 8th.
Now going to the top.
We welcome you back in. I'm Dan Cooter here at Colburn Park. We head to the top of the 8th. We've played 4 scoreless innings since the 3rd, where each team was able to score 1. And the Pioneers lead 3-1. They got 2 back in the top of the 1st. As Matt Walczak's day is over. That turned into a strong one, as he did give up 11 hits, but 3 earned runs and kept this Newark team around in it. As they trail 3-1, it's Jacob Polishak, the right-hander from Frederick, Maryland, who takes over on the mound now. Polishak, who was a freshman this past year at Millersville, is making his 6th appearance of the year. Polishak gets one on the inside corner to the dismay of William Perrin. And Perrin is behind in the count 1-2. Perrin, the DH today, is 0 for 2. Was able to reach on a walk his 2nd time up. The 1-2 swung on and missed by Perrin. And Polishak records the K on his first batter he sees tonight.
Now batting out of Crestwood, Kentucky, number 15, right fielder, Tanner Johnson.
Tanner Johnson 0 for 3 tonight. Strides back in to face Jacob Polishak for the first time. as he swings at the first pitch he sees and fouls it off. Last time we saw Polishak was when he pitched 1 1/3 innings in the June 22nd loss to Geneva. So he gave up 1 earned run on 2 hits. Polishak has come on in relief all 6 times we've seen him now. He hasn't pitched more than 2 innings of work in the games he has come on for so far this year. So 1-1 count to Johnson. So that one catches the outside part of the plate for strike 2. And so Polishak gets himself out of the count 1-2. Tanner Johnson, who was ranked the number 6 catcher in Kentucky coming out of high school, swings on this one. It's in the dirt, so Babin will have to throw down to first, but it's in plenty of time. So Polishak has back-to-back Ks as there's 2 gone here in the top of the 8th.
Number 37, second baseman, Mason Rollman.
Mason Rollman is 3 for 3 tonight. It's been a strong night for him. All 3 of those hits came off the hand of Matt Walczak, but he gets to see Polishak for the first time, and he's behind the count 0-1 as Polishak is able to get ahead with the fastball. Polishak misses with this one high, so the count goes even at 1-1. It's been a fairly quick-moving game, just over 2 hours into this one, and we're in the top of the 8th with Pioneers up 3-1. Polishak into the windup with the 1-1 now. Swung on by Rollman, hit high in the air into foul territory. Robinson has a play on it, and he's able to make the catch. So Polishak, a quick 1-2-3 innings of work for him. And the Pilots, another chance to try and even this one up as we head to the bottom of the 8th. They trail 3-1 still. Dawson Bailey will start things off as it's the 2-3-4 hitters here in the bottom of the 8th. Pilots trail the Pioneers 3-1 as Angus Mayock's day is done, and it was a strong one to say the least. So he gives up 1 earned run on 2 hits and 7 innings of work for the right-hander. Brock Moffitt, the left-hander from Valley Center, California, plays at UC Davis, will try to continue what Mayock did and stymie these Pilots batters. Zielinski's been true with that pitch on the outside corner. So it falls in for strike 1. It's Moffitt's 5th appearance of the year, pardon me. All in relief. This one's chopped down the center, and Bailey has himself a base hit to lead things off here. And the bottom of the 8th as the Pilots put on the rally caps, trailing 3-1. Only the 3rd hit of the game. One of those 3 hits is a RBI double by Alan Murphy all the way back in the bottom of the 3rd that brought Justin Graham around to score. And the clutch hits that he's had this year, he'll try to add to that. He's got Dawson Bailey down on first. Murphy holds off on 1 low, so it's ball 1. Murphy, the DH tonight for the Pilots, takes a swing at this one, and it's fouled up, and so it's strike 1. Last time we saw Brock Moffitt back on June 25th in a 10-1 loss to Jamestown. He pitched 2 innings and gave up 2 earned runs on 4 hits. See if the Pilots can take advantage like the Jammers did. This one's in the dirt, but Bailey will stay put at first as Corliss was able to keep it in front of him. The 2-1 count here for Alan Murphy as we play on here with none gone in the bottom of the 8th. The leadoff single for Dawson Bailey as the Pilots in business. Murphy chops this one back to Moffitt. Able to corral it as Moffitt and make the play over to first. And so Bailey advances to second, but there's 1 gone now.
Now batting on Indian Springs, Alabama. Number 3, third baseman, Matt Serfolio.
Matt Serfolio, 0 for 3 in the afternoon. Will try to change his fortune as he comes back to the plate and has Bailey over in scoring position. Moffitt having to come off the mound to corral that one, but he's able to scoop it up into the glove and toss it over to first for out number 1. Serfolio, the switch hitter on the right side of the plate now. Also see Xavier Warren, a switch hitter for the Pilots. For Moffitt, he has a 4.9 ERA with the Pioneers in his 4 appearances. Has pitched 7 1/3 innings with 10 strikeouts and 4 walks. It's the 11th hit he has given up after the single from Dawson Bailey. An 0-1 count here to the third baseman, Matt Serfolio. Bailey's going. Here's the throw from Corliss, and it's wide, and now Bailey is going to come home and score. And so Dawson Bailey, after the error from Craig Corliss down at third, comes in to score, and it's a 3-2 ball game. And nothing wrong with that play, as Dawson Bailey looked like he was going to be there in plenty of time. But Corliss decided to chuck it down, and it was high and wide as Joey Myers couldn't handle it at third, and Dawson Bailey comes home to score. Serfolio goes around on this one, a big swing and a miss, and so he's behind in the count 1-2. Moffitt looking to get the second out of the inning, and the 1-2 to Serfolio. Off speeder chopped right down. Corliss is going to have to barehand it, and the play over to first is made. Good one from Craig Corliss. And so there's 2 gone. As the Pilots have cut into the Pioneers' lead as it's 3-2.
Right fielder, Jake Walter.
For Dawson Bailey, it's the 10th time he's come across this score this year. It was his 14th hit of the 2018 season. Jake Walter now at the plate as he looks at strike 1 on the inside for Moffitt. Walter is 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. He takes a big swing and miss at this one and is quickly behind 0-2. Walter, since coming on after the season started, is making his 8th appearance, is 9 for 22. And everyone was halfway off the field, but Ianski doesn't give him the call for strike 3. I don't know if Walter even thought that was a strike maybe, but he looks at it, and so the count goes to 1-2. One misses low as Corliss tries to paint that one. Pull it back up into the strike zone, but Ianski calls for ball 2, so the count is even at 2-2 now. Walter able to fight one off in the hands. Stays alive and keeps the count even at 2. The 2-2 once again. The breaking ball is on the inside part, and Walter is confused with that call. And so that will do it. The Pilots get one back, but still trail 3-2. As they'll have 3 more outs. But we had the top of the 9th with the Pioneers coming back up next. Top of the 9th here at Colburn Park. This is a 3-2 Pioneers lead. Jacob Polishak, after the 1-2-3 inning, is back on the mound to try and do the same and give the Pilots a chance. But Blaine Smith is going to hit one to right and has himself a leadoff single as the Pioneers will look to cushion that lead before heading in to the bottom of the 9th. It's the 12th hit now of the day for the Pioneers and the first of the day for Smith, who was 0 for 3 before that plate appearance. Top of the order now as it's Joey Myers showing bunt all the way. Serfolio creeping in. And Myers doesn't take. Now the throw down to first. They get him. What a throw. Ty Babin. A big out as the leadoff man after the single. Blaine Smith gets picked off at first. There was a strike, yeah. Now this one grounded down to the third baseman, Serfolio. Good play on the hopper. The throw over to first, scooped by Wright. And there's two gone now. Here in the top of the ninth was Angus Mayock, who went 7 strong and gave up 2 hits and 1 earned run for the Pioneers. And Matt Waltek, who was good on the mound for the Pilots as well, after giving up a couple early hits and runs, was able to settle in and ended up pitching 7 strong as well. Gave 11 hits and 3 earned runs. Mayock is in line for the win. We'll see if Moffett is back on the mound. Pioneers, the bottom of the ninth. Or it'll be someone else as we close this one out. And Paul Shack hits Steven back. So first batter we've seen hit by either side. 2 gone. Stevenson is on with Liam Hibbett at the plate. Paul Scheck would love to just get out of this inning and keep the score where it is. Pilots only trail by 1, 3-2. Hibbets hits one deep to right, but tracking it back is Walter, and he's able to make the catch. So Polishak does his job, and the Pilots have 3 more outs to try and tie or win this game as they trail 3-2. We head to the final inning in the bottom of the ninth. It's the 6, 7, 8 hitters as we head to the bottom of the ninth with the Pilots trailing 3-2. It's Jake Dippold who takes over on the mound now as he tries to pick up the save for the Pioneers and close this one out. Dippold, the left-hander from right down the road here in Syracuse, New York, was a freshman at Wofford this past year and is making his 11th appearance of the year for the Pioneers. He had gone 6 in a row without giving up an earned run until his last outing on June 29th against Socrates, where he pitched 2 innings and gave up 2 earned runs on 3 hits. Babin looks at one on the inside part of the plate to start things off. We saw Dippold on the mound in that 10-5 win that the Pioneers had, as Babin is quickly behind 0-2. Dippold only gave up 1 hit in 2 innings of work in that one. They'll try to close things out here for Elmira. He's got Babin in an 0-2 hole here to start him off. A swing and a miss and a big strikeout for Dippold to start things off here in the bottom of the 9th.
Now batting out of Shawnee, Kansas. Number 21, left fielder, Griffin Robinson.
Second strikeout for Babin and as many at-bats. Griffin Robinson 0 for 3 will try to change things as there's 1 gone now here in the bottom of the 9th. Pioneers out hitting the Pilots 12-3, but they're only up by 1, 3-2. Robinson takes a crack at this one and fouls it off. And so it's strike 1 to him. Swing and a miss in the dirt, and Robinson is quickly behind 0-2 for Dippold. He has a 2.45 ERA in his 10 appearances before this, and an 18 1/3 inning pitch with 23 strikeouts. He's got Robinson in an 0-2 hole. A swing and a miss from Robinson, and there's quickly 2 gone and 2 strikeouts for Dippold.
Georgetown, Texas.
It's Grady Wright.
First baseman, Parker Tadlock.
Who will not come to the plate as it's Parker Tadlock taking over. Parker Tadlock is the last out as he comes on for Grady Wright. Takes a swing at this one and fouls it off, and Dippold has gotten ahead in the count. And all 3 batters he's seen now. A 1 count here to Tadlock. Holds off on one outside. So it's ball 1 from Dippold. The 1-1. Can't catch the inside part. Just try to paint the corner there was Dippold. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Parker Tadlock. Pilots will be home again tomorrow night when the Red Wings come to town. Tadlock holds off on one outside. So it's a 3-1 count. Elmira will have the day off tomorrow. I'm sure they're lucky about that with the heat that's rolling through. It's a hitter's count to Tadlock at 3-1. This one hit the left. Trying to get down, but it can't. You got some good wood on that, but just a little too far in front of it, and it falls foul against the wall. So it runs the count full as Tadlock's down to his final strike with 2 gone here in the bottom of the 9th. Pilots trailing the Pioneers 3-2. Grady Wright was over 3 with a pair of strikeouts before being replaced by Parker Tadlock. Here's the payoff. The breaking ball can't catch the outside corner, and it's a 2-out walk, and the tying run is aboard now for the Pilots. And it's Xavier Warren who comes back to the plate.
Number 22, shortstop, Xavier Warren.
Xavier Warren, he is 0 for 2, the walk to his name. And he'll try to be the hero. If he can get aboard, the Pilots will head to the top of the order. 2 gone. Dippold, after issuing the 2-out walk, tosses one in the dirt to start off Warren. Dippold ready to go with the 1-0. Swung on by Warren. Hit into left, high. Back to get it is Davis, and that'll do it. Dippold picks up the save, and the Pioneers win this one 3-2. A quick defensive showdown between these 2 Western Division rivals as the Pioneers pick up their 9th victory of the year, and the Pilots lose their third straight and fall to 6-15 on the year. As mentioned, the Pilots will return home when the Geneva Red Wings come to town. It'll be a 7:05 first pitch as the Pilots will try to end their 3-game skid. We thank you for tuning in here on Newark Pilots TV. I'm Dan Cooter saying so long from Colburn Park.